Hi ladies, welcome to our Panimi. This is Saratova Best. So, this time of year, if you are Jewish, this is what you're trying to get to. The Seder table, hopefully, with this incredible matzah there. If you're not Jewish, you're still interested in freedom. So, here's the question. How do we get there? What do we have to do to get to this really unbelievable scene of freedom? So we have two tools, maybe even more. One is this, the sponge. The sponge. And the other one is this, the Kabbalistic wisdom, or more specifically, Shara Emunah, the gate of Emunah. So I'm just going to give you a couple of insights into what sounds to be, to the rest of the world, incredibly strange. You know, here's a table and kids are sitting and they're eating this food, and then to get to that you use a sponge and you use this Kabbalistic holy book. Nobody else in the world would understand it. So let's look into it for just a couple of minutes because everybody's hopefully really busy trying to get there. I want you to think about the idea of salt-free soup. I have a friend who eats salt-free, so when she comes to my house, I make two soups. One is the salt-free and one is the regular one. What's the difference between her soup and ours? Her soup, she enjoys the taste of the vegetables as they are. She says whatever the flavors are from the food naturally, that's what I enjoy. I take it as it is. Our soup is doctored up. We're not satisfied with the way it is. We want to make it spicier, saltier. We want to do things to it. We want to be in charge and control of the taste of the soup because we want it to be the way we want. We don't necessarily want to take it as is. Now, why am I mentioning that now? Because we have this incredible food that we're preparing for an entire month, 2 weeks. An enormous amount of work goes into cleaning our homes, preparing our kitchens so that they be fully kosher for Pesach, so that we can put this queen, this most incredible substance, on this table, which is a perfect throne for it, which has been prepared for weeks. This substance, this queen of the whole Seder that we put there is the matzah. And this matzah is designed by God himself to enable us to make a mega jump in our lives. What is this mega jump? It all has to do with the soup. Because we know that matzah is a bread, a form of bread that's flat, and it has no taste. Shmura matzah, guarded matzah, has no taste. According to Shara Emunah, according to the Mittler Rebbe, no taste means no salt. No spices, no salt. And no salt means I'm not going to control it. I'm going to allow myself to reach up to something even beyond my control. Now, what is this? There's a level, imagine the following. There's a level that you can get to that's deeply satisfying, which is when you're not sure what's going on in life, and you see a scene and you can't figure it out. You see all the details. Let's say you're walking to the corner and there's a crowd of people standing at the corner. And you say, what's going on over here? And they say, oh, a dignitary is passing by. You say, oh. When you say, oh, there's an incredible rush of satisfaction. You saw this whole thing. You saw all these details. You couldn't quite put them all together. You didn't know what they all meant. You had what's called the bina, all of the details, but you didn't have the big picture that explains the whole thing, which we call in Chassidus the chachma. So working backwards, when you see all the details of life without understanding the big picture, it's very disorienting. It's very difficult to deal with. It's difficult to digest. When you have that big picture, the chachma, this is what it is, boom, you feel satisfied. You feel, wow, now I know. And it's an incredibly energizing place to be in when you get that spark of chachma inside, behind the bina. So imagine when you're living in that place, you know who you are, you have things figured out, you understand everything about life, you're living in a groove, you've got it all placed. And then God comes along and says, how do you feel? You say, great. And he says, would you be interested in something higher? No. And he said, would you be interested in hearing that as satisfying as it is to have this level of chachma, of the big picture, of understanding, there's something even higher than that, which is, what's it called? Ayin de chachma. The ability to give up the framework that we're used to and recognize that there's something even higher, more lofty, more expansive, more geuladik, more nurturing and more nourishing. And when we get to that place, it will be a new aha. It will be a new feeling of, wow, this picture of reality is way more satisfying than the one I had before. So life is about getting to a point of understanding and being willing to let it go and go to a higher understanding. That is Pesach. Pesach comes to us to tell us, you know who you are, you know what's going on. Be ready to move to the next level. Because essentially, your software needs an upgrade. You know, how long does it last on your phone? And they keep telling you need another upgrade and another and another one. So when we come to the time of Pesach, the message is from above, time for an upgrade. In order to have an upgrade from my gullus way of thinking to my geula way of thinking, what would I do? Prepare everything so that this queen, this matzah, can be put on the table and I can ingest it. Why? Because if you were an artist and you could draw what ayin de chachma or kayachma, which is a certain spiritual reality, if you could draw that, again, ayin de chachma being whatever you know to be the way it is, be willing to get ready for a higher and a more profound interpretation. So this ayin de chachma, if you were to draw it on a canvas, paint it on a canvas, what would it look like? You know what it would look like? It would look like this. It would look like a piece of matzah, a piece of shmura matzah. Literally, the shmura matzah, this piece of matzah, this round, hand-baked matzah, is the physical embodiment, the physical exemplification of what's called ayin de chachma, of being willing to let go of your old framework and move to a higher framework of thought. And it all comes through the matzah. As astounding as it is, if you're Jewish, you're used to it. You eat the matzah, but really, you move to a higher level of consciousness, you do. And therefore, the higher level of consciousness is called faith, emunah. Let's not say faith, emunah. And of course, we know that the matzah is called michla demnusa, the food of faith, because it lifts us up to that higher level. So when we ingest it, we come out of the Pesach Seder an entirely different person. And when at the end of the Seder we eat that extra piece of matzah, which is called the afikomen, we really make a mega jump in our lives and we move from here to here. And as we're eating, as we're ingesting that matzah, we're ingesting the possibility of whom we can become. We're ingesting pure godliness, pure faith, which takes us to whom we can become. And that's pretty amazing. So ladies, I guess I have to go because the sponge is calling me. All that work to prepare the kitchen and to prepare the dining room to put that incredible piece of matzah on it so that I can hopefully have a mega jump from where I'm up to now to where I want to get to. Hope you'll join me. Wishing everybody a kosher and a happy Pesach. Thanks so much.